Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Garage Gym Experiment podcast. My name is Adam. I'm here with Jake, and we're back again with another great episode talking about home gyms and home gym equipment. We're going to start off tonight's episode with a HomeGymCon update. We'll get into that Mutant Metals Rogue fiasco with a little update there. We have some new products that hit the market. We're going to be talking about the pivot pad from AbMat, little help from Kaizen DIY. We'll get into the new release of today. That's the Rep AB 5200, their 2.0. We also have Bells of Steel teasing a plate-loaded lat tower, as well as a new bench from an American-made company. We'll get into those survey results, lots of rack data there. And then we have a product idea brought to us from the community. Lots of you submitted stuff with Jake hitting Instagram with some asks for help, and we're going to share one of those today. So let's get started.
An update before we get rolling. So since we've last updated you, we have added 4 new vendors. That would be Giant Lifting, Rep, Bulletproof Fitness, and Dynabody. So those are 4 awesome gets for the convention. I think each of them bring definitely some not only good equipment, but quality people behind them as well. It'd be really nice to meet all of them in person.
Also, we have some updates with HomeGymCon, and those are the giveaway reminders. We are giving away tons of equipment. Our list so far looks like this. So for people who buy that full event and early access tickets, they'll be in a drawing to win the Phoenix Rack, the 5/8" Irwin Roller J Cups, as well as the 1" Irwin Roller J Cups. And then anyone who buys a ticket has a chance to win the Iron Master Superbench Pro version 2, the Torque Take M1 push sled, the ZBEX XT3 sled from GetRx, 2 benches from GetRx, their Fit AB2 and their Fit B300. And then we also have the Mutant Metals Universal Dip attachment as well. We're working on pulling together some exclusive discounts and more giveaways. So stay up to date with those because we plan on having tons of them.
Yeah, that list is definitely just the beginning. And then last week we kind of left you all with a kind of a we don't know what's happening next with the Rogue Mutant Metals dip attachment fiasco. And I think most people probably already listened or probably already are well aware that Rogue and Mutant Metals are in communication. So I just since we left you all last week without knowing what was happening, just know that Mutant Metals and Rogue may end up working something out. So
it's good to hear. Jake and I were talking about it, and we felt like it was really the home gym community who made this happen. Jake, am I putting words in your mouth, or are you?
It was absolutely the home gym community. Rogue wouldn't have followed up on this unless it was going to damage their reputation. It was clearly, it was definitely a business decision by Rogue to try and squash this right away. So we'll see.
All right, we have some new products and some teases coming from some companies. Jake, you want to take this first one?
Yeah, the pivot pad from AbMat, that's in collaboration with Dr. Kelly Starrett of the Ready State and Kaizen DIY. And it is basically a pad that you add to a barbell that is added to your rack. And then you have the ability to do hip thrusts with either a dumbbell, with bands, or with a barbell, which most people will probably use if they have multiple barbells. I have used this, and it is pretty nice. It's just a nice, comfortable way to do hip thrusts. So I would definitely recommend if it's something that you do often, or if you're like just doing it off a bench, this is much more comfortable and it's easier to get in a proper position.
Question, since you've used it, is there a lot of roll with that barbell sitting on the J-cups, or with you pressed against it, does it stay pretty stable?
Yeah, no roll for me. As you're going, the pad moves with you. So, there wasn't any roll really noticed.
Awesome. Looks like a cool product. Next up, we have Bells of Steel. They tease their plate-loaded lat pull-down. They also have their pretty popular selectorized lat pull down. They just teased this one. In the comments, Bell said that it'll have the same specs as their selectorized tower. The only difference is this one being plate loaded. They say it's going to be an eye pleaser and a pocket saver. So good news for us on a budget. And if you want to be in on that early launch, you're going to have to sign up for their newsletter, which if you find the post on their Instagram, you can click the link and sign up for their newsletter to get first dibs on this thing. Super popular option. I don't know. I think it's going to do really well. Their selectorized lat tower's close to $2,000 right now. So any guesses on prices here, Jake?
I would guess maybe 700-800.
Yeah, I was in the 800
but
range.
I was just going to say I used to really like my standalone Titan plate loaded one. Just super convenient. And this just looks like a step ahead of that.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing this will be even more popular than the selectorized version.
I think a lat tower is, I think it's a game changer. It has been for my space. But
and then, so we're recording this podcast on Wednesday night. Earlier today, Rep dropped the AB 5200 2.0 version. So this basically just looks like a general upgrade from what they already have with the traditional AB 5200. It has the ability to decline as an add-on, knurled handle for easier movability. It's extremely customizable. So not only can you have the ability to make it fixed or adjustable for that post, but you can change the color of the frame or the color of the guide rail. So you can make one of them white, one of them green, and mix in some unique color combinations, which is pretty cool and not really anything you're seeing from anybody outside of like those very premium benches. So very cool option from Rep.
yeah, I love that real thick metal on their guide rails with the laser cut in there. It looks sick.
Yeah, it's slick. Would you, let's say you're buying a new bench, are you spending $550 on this, or are you going with the old version that's on sale right now?
What's the sale price on it right now?
$449.
Oh, a difference of that, I'd probably go this. This thing looks amazing, and that's not a huge price difference. So,
Right.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree, but I also just bought a tablet that was definitely like one version outside of the newest. And I didn't really care about paying for the one, I'm butchering this, but an older version of a tablet, but I would care for a bench.
Priorities,
so
man.
I guess it's just like priorities. So yeah, I think it's just to each their own. It's funny. I was thinking about this exact thing when I bought the tablet. So
pre-orders coming up March 1st for this bench. So if you're interested.
yeah, I think they're bringing this to the Arnold too. So
Awesome.
I think they're kind of timing it with
Right.
their Arnold.
All right, and then we have another bench, this one coming from that American-made company. This one comes from Surplus Strength. Jason over there has the, Jake, you're going to have to fix me on this one again, the Aegis. Is that how you say it?
I think it's Aegis.
If I mess that up, Jason, you got to yell at me. Looks sick. Everything that Jason's doing is very well built, and this looks to match that. It's a slick-looking bench. You only get a couple teaser pictures, so we don't really get the full view, but I guess we'll just wait and see when he's going to drop this.
Yeah, and then it also looks like Rep will be releasing an upgraded version of the Zero Gap as well. So we'll see. That was dropped by Ryan, Rep
Nice.
Ryan on Instagram. So
Sweet. All right, that's all the new products and the teases we have for you. So we're going to jump into those survey results. So let's get after it.
all right, survey results. I will take the first one. So our first question was, what type of rack do you own? So you could either choose 3x3 with 1-inch hole, 3x3 with 5/8-inch holes, 2x2 or similar, none, other, or I don't know. And the most popular answer was 3x3 with 1-inch holes with 35% of the votes. Number 2 was 3x3 with 5/8-inch holes. about 30%. Overall, there wasn't too much change from last year, except the amount of Monster or PR 5000 racks, the 1-inch holes, was up about 10%. So most are going all in. Most are all in for that.
That's what people own. Next up, we asked, what is your preference? And then the 1-inch hole beat out 5 inches on hole preference. 1-inch holes got almost 55% of the votes. 5/8 inches got about 27%. It seems to be declining quicker and quicker. So 1 inch are up 21% from the last time we asked this question. So only 16% said they don't know why that's important. So people are understanding hole preference and why they want it. So
yeah, and 2% other. Next up, 11 gauge steel. Is it important to you? About 3 out of 4 said that it's at least somewhat important, with 31% saying very important, and then 42% saying somewhat important. So we want a strong rack. Do we care if it's 11 gauge steel specifically? I don't think so. I think this, and combined with some of the previous two questions, we're more concerned about actual rack attachments and its compatibility with others.
Well, speaking of rack attachments, the top preference is the pulley system. That's being the favorite in rack attachments. 57% voted pulley systems as their top rack attachment. That's followed by, it's almost a tie. I guess landmines beat it out by almost 15%. 14.5% belt squats, and then 13.7% jammer arms. So all those guys are in the teens, but pulley systems came in at 57%.
Yeah, and that's basically what we saw last year. Next up, this is a repeat from last week. We simply asked rep rack or rogue rack. We wanted to see if there were any changes after the fiasco last week. So last week, Rogue received 65% of the votes. This time, only 58. So down 11%. So most likely, it did have some sort of impact, at least in the short term. Maybe not in the long run, but only time will tell.
We also asked about benches with the leg curl, leg extension attachments. If you're looking at the picture, this one is the Iron Master Pro bench. It's got the leg curl, leg extension attached to the front of it. Long bench. Kind of reminds me, I think Elite FTS has a similar looking one, and so does Irwin, I think.
I think Force USA has one.
Too.
I don't think Irwin has one. No.
Yeah. Level of interest in a bench like this isn't high. About 23% said it was high. Medium, about 34%. Low, about 40%. It's really kind of split here. Yeah. So the most popular answer was low, but the responses were spread out pretty well over the 2 and 3 that voted at least medium. So
what do you think?
I don't know. I have a standalone. I don't like setting anything up, and I wouldn't want it on my bench while I'm using it as a bench. So I like my standalone option, but I have the space for it. And if I was really like tight on space, then I would look for something like this, I think.
That was my thought too. Yeah, if I'm really tight on space, this would be a game changer. But I'm not, and I'd rather have. I'm going to keep my bulletproof one and get rid of my plate loaded. It's just as good, and I don't have to take up the space. Yep. So, all right. Next up, we asked which wall-mounted option are you more interested in? Which fold-away rack are you more interested in? Either wall-mounted, a portable one, or neither interest you at all. The wall-mounted, like a PRX, received about 31% of the votes, quite a bit more than the portable, about 19% of those votes, and then 50% said neither interests me at all.
Kind of follows along with our data with most people wanting the 4-post power rack too.
Right.
Chatting about dumbbells next. What's your handle preference? Here it's going to be fully knurled. Clear winner. Almost 86% of the people are looking for the fully knurled handles. The other options that we gave were the ergonomic handles, as well as like rubber handles. Ergonomic handles got like 11.5%. Rubber handles about 3%. So fully knurled handles were easily the favor here. 7.5 times more votes than the ergonomic handles. So we asked this question about a year ago without the rubber option, and fully knurled handles only got about 65% of those votes. So I think people are seeing that.
Catching on. Yeah, fully knurled. Easy winner.
Easy.
All right, let's move on to a product idea. So it was a few hours before this podcast. Had nothing in the tank as far as product ideas. Either did Adam. So I put on my personal Instagram, which has about 300 followers, not the Garage Gym Experiment one. Just like, don't have any ideas, who has one? So we have a few. Adam and I both received some, and we'll probably just spread those out for the next few weeks and give them, let them know how it turns out. So I put this one together. So basically, and this one comes from our buddy Primal Armor. So his idea was, if you're looking at the screen, a rack attached power tower. So these are kind of a commercial gym favorite, where you have the ability to like put your elbows and forearms on padded cushion and do like ab movements like knee raises, or I don't even know, leg raises. What do you even call them? They're ab.
Yeah, we always called it a captain's chair.
Captain's chair. Yeah. I don't even know if I knew what this was called before we before I looked it up. But you see them on Amazon all the time, and they're not too expensive. And I think a decent amount of like normal people add them to their as a home gym because they're on Amazon. And I actually used to use it quite a bit back in my days in the commercial gym. So, but you can do those ab movements. You can also do dips. Typically comes with a pull-up bar, and then something at the bottom. You can also do some stuff. But this version would just be a rack attached option, where it would likely double as a dip attachment, but also you could do those. Rest your forearms and elbow and do those ab raises, leg raises, whatever you call them. I think the difficult part would be to finding a way to seamlessly add it to the rack. And it seems like it might be a little bit wide. So you definitely have to make some sort of design around it. And it's, when I think of people with power racks, it might not be the same demographic as someone who would use this. So I think there's some challenges, but I definitely see this as there's some sort of potential. Okay, Adam?
Yeah, I don't know. Have you seen the dip bars for the PR 1100, the rep rack? They like thread through the safety bars. That's how I see like this, like on the side opening of your rack. You thread it through the top and bottom, and 2 safety bars holding it together. Yeah, gotcha. I could see it being used. I don't see there being like a huge demand for it. Like you said, like demographic just doesn't seem quite on. But like there are people who love this movement. So I want to give it. I think it's a good idea. I just don't love the actual apparatus. So I want to honor the idea and give it a 6. Like I was going to say 5, but I want to give it a bump up because it is a good idea. 6.
Yeah, I think the picture that we have here that he sent in doesn't really align with what it would look like on a rack. So I think that makes it a little bit harder. but I really do like the idea, and I don't think there's one that exists. So props, good idea. Yeah, and to anybody who we didn't use this week, we've got them saved, and we will.
Yeah. Hey, Jake, I want to do Porters next week, if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
All right, Matthew Porter.
Yeah.
Tune in next week. Your awesome idea.
Tune in next week. Your idea is awesome.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us tonight. So if you enjoyed tonight's episode, be sure to keep your eye out for new episode releases wherever you listen to podcasts. Stay involved on our social media sites by following Garage Gym Experiment and taking part in our Sunday surveys on Instagram so that you can be a part of these conversations. Like, follow, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, and get involved on our website for all your home gym content needs. Got this thing coming up. It's called HomeGymCon. You can follow it at HomeGymCon.com, where you can see the growing list of giveaways, vendors, and all the happenings going on there. You can also follow us on HomeGymCon on Instagram, and we want to see you there. We're promoting it at the Arnold next week, so come out to the Arnold. They have a little surprise giveaway out there. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Can't wait. Jake, do you have anything else left for these fine listeners?
Nope.
All right, guys, you heard it from the big man. Catch you next time. Bye.